Well, for scientists, it's been frustrating, even infuriating, to hear so many in Congress doubt basic facts. So if you can't beat them, join them. Many, it seems, are now running for public office.
It comes after the Trump administration repeatedly made it clear that it does not view climate change as a threat.
Regarding the question as to climate change, I think the president was fairly straightforward. We're not spending money on that anymore. We consider that to be a waste of your money.
They changed it to climate change because the word global warming wasn't working. Then they changed it to extreme weather. You can't get hurt with extreme weather. Do you agree? It's always going to be, there's a tornado, there's a little cold, there's a wind. It's always extreme.
In the past 6 months, President Trump has taken the United States out of the Paris Climate Accords, removed information about climate change from agency websites, reversed a regulation that prevented mining companies from putting waste in local waterways. The administration argues all of these changes are just simply to reduce costs and cut bureaucracy.
But all of it has sparked outrage in the scientific community. And now one geologist has decided she's going to protest by running for public office. Jess joins us now. She's a geologist who studies volcanoes and a recently declared candidate in California's 25th congressional district race. Jess, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, help our viewers understand this monumental decision, because let's be clear here, you are a political newcomer running in an area that is traditionally red. It has been held by a Republican since 1993. This isn't going to be easy. So why do you believe this is a fight worth taking on?
Well, I always tell the people I work with that anything worth doing is difficult, and I really think that this is worth doing because as scientists, we have to be engaged in the decision-making that impacts everybody in our society and around the world. And scientists can't afford to sit out anymore. This is the time. We have a president and a Congress who are in shambles, and chaos is reigning. So now more than ever, it's key that we have people who understand facts and the truth and fight for those things in office.
Okay. What do you say to those who question you and say, okay, you're a volcanologist, you have a non-profit organization, you do all this very valuable work, all this very great work, but what makes you think you're suited to the business of governance? You know, how do you respond?
So our country was founded not to have professional politicians. It was founded to draw on different sort of perspectives from different fields all over the spectrum. And so I think that having a different set of skills and a different way of looking at things is just what our country needs.
Okay. Forget the fact that you're taking on an incumbent Republican. The primary for the seat on the Democratic side of things could likely be long and bruising, right? We're hearing about two likely contenders, at least at this stage. How do you get your message to break through?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where I'm in a really unique place. For one, I'm here talking to you, and I think that shows that people around the world are really interested and excited by the prospect of scientists engaging in government. I work on life and death matters every day when I'm working on volcanoes, and that's what climate change is. It's a life and death matter, not just for the U.S., but for people around the world. And so I think that getting my message out really just is going to be speaking to what people are concerned about. They want to be able to live and work and raise their families in, safety and security. And if we ignore the challenges that are coming down the pipeline, no one's going to be able to do that.
Given the gridlock we've seen, the partisan divisions, how much do you think you can get done? How much do you think you can achieve?
That's a fair question. I think that what we need are a group of people who can be elected who are actually willing to work together to solve problems. And fortunately for me, my training as a scientist is all about creative problem solving. So I actually do that on a daily basis. I work with people from all different backgrounds, all different education levels from all over the world to solve problems. So I want to take that same skill set and bring it to Congress.
What do you say to those people who say to have scientists get involved in the political process inevitably changes the calculus and maybe taints the objectivity of their work and, if anything, creates more problems for the business of science?
Well, my response is that actually historically scientists were very active politically. The Cold War changed that. Scientists became afraid that they would lose their funding if they spoke up and spoke out. So now we're just recalibrating. And I think that what really drives scientists and what really moves science are facts. Those don't change. Facts are objective. So that's what my training is. It's to look at the the world, the matters in front of us objectively, and to analyze all the available evidence before making decisions. And so really what we need is evidence-based policy making. And I think that's something everybody can get behind.
And you really want to give up the life you have right now. I mean, what do your family and friends think? What does your husband think? I mean, this is something that doesn't just affect you, as you know.
Yeah, you know, it's a sacrifice. You know, I mean, it's definitely something that I wasn't planning for. I wasn't preparing for it. But when, you know, the time of need is great, people need to step up to the plate and make sure that, you know, people are there to get the job done. And that's what I want to do. I believe that, you know, I'm running against someone who is a climate change denier, and he's on the House Science Committee. We can't afford to have people like that making decisions that are going to affect millions of people's lives, not just right now, but for the future. So this is bigger than my work doing volcano research. The volcanoes will still be there. So, but you know what? We need to fight for our democracy and fight for the future of our planet.
Wow. And just before I let you go, what was the moment? What was the moment where you decided you were going to do this? You know, and have you had any moments where you thought, oh, maybe, you know, maybe I should go, you know, climb a volcano in Hawaii?
Yeah, well, you know, it kind of brings me back full circle to the whole anything worth doing is difficult thing. Of course, just like any, you know, anything that you do that's a big undertaking, you're going to have moments where you have to reassess, like, should I keep going? Is this right?
And have you had those moments?
You know, not so far. I can see that, you know, it's probably going to happen. This is a long race. But I think what motivates me is the same thing that motivated me to jump into the race, which is I had just given a talk at the Natural History Museum here in Los Angeles, and I had some folks come up to me, and they have children, and their kids were very inspired, and their parents mentioned to me how worried they were with, you know, the inauguration had just happened, and they said they're very concerned for the future of the planet. And that's when the idea really started to crystallize for me, and I've been carrying that through. I get cards all the time from little kids who tell me, please go and make good decisions for our planet. So that's what I want to do.
Well, we wish you the very best, Jess, and we will continue to follow your campaign.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.